Sterling Holmes with Fansided and Stacking the Box, joined now by seven-time Pro Bowler, Super Bowl champion, and a key piece of the greatest show on turf, Torry Holt. Torry, how are you?
Not bad, man. How you doing,
I'm
Sterling?
doing great, man. I am doing very, very well. I do want to give a shout out to AAbbott, the official health sciences and nutrition partner of the Real Madrid Football Club. They hosted a soccer clinic on Friday, August 1st for pro athletes and influencers in New York City as part of the club's annual summer tour. Torry, tell us more about this awesome event that you participated in.
Oh, man, it was incredible, man. I had an opportunity to come out of retirement for at least one more day. Look, they took us through a press conference. They brought us up, gave us our jerseys. We had our jerseys, the Real Madrid. I mean, it was a big deal, man, and had a really good time. We trained with Real Madrid coaches and a bunch of other challenges that they took us through. And look, prior to the event, my two daughters play soccer. My wife played soccer at university. That's how she and I met at NC State. So they took me through some drills to get me ready for this particular challenge with Real Madrid. And I think I did pretty good. I held my own. We went through some drills, and then we also had a match right there on the pitch. I think it was like 5-on-5 or so, and just went after it, man, and had a really good time. And no. That was how it went down, and we all enjoyed. My team did not win, but more importantly, we had a really good time. We drank a lot of Ensure Max protein as well as Pedialyte to keep us hydrated while I was on the pitch.
Absolutely love that. Yeah, I bet you wish you had that going back in the day, huh? You wish you would have had some of that back in the day, keep you hydrated.
Yeah, I could have used some of that during some of those tough matches out there on the football field for sure.
I want to bring up you being such a catalyst for the greatest show on turf, because I think those teams that you played on, your fingerprints are all over the way the NFL is currently being played. Do you ever take pride or think about how you guys helped usher in a new era of football?
Sure, absolutely. That's all part of the game. When I first came into the National Football League, there was guys like Jerry Rice and others that I looked up to and studied to see how Marvin Harrison, the list goes on, guys to watch and see how to play the passing game and let alone the guys on my team, Isaac Bruce and Ricky Prohl and all the fellas showed me how to be a pro. And then Coach Mike Martz was just incredible with the offense that he had in store, had planned for us and how we went out and was able to execute the type of offense that we ran. We were a pro offense. We would go, two wide receivers, two backs, tight ends. Sometimes we would go two tight ends. We would spread it out and go four receivers. We would spread it out and go five receivers.
Yeah.
It was just for a wide receiver, it was receiver-friendly offense. And we had quarterbacks like Kurt and Trent Green that could get us the ball. And like I said, Coach Martz was just dialing up the right plays, and we were going out and executing it. And I think the league saw what we were doing, took some of the things that we were doing and implemented into their offense. And now you're seeing such a pass-happy league. And the receivers now, the type of numbers that they're putting up now is incredible.
Would you put up 2K now?
I would come close to it. I certainly would come right up to the point of 2000, yes. Again, with the amount of balls that they're throwing, the amount of targets now that the guys are getting, the coverage now allows you to get into the offense, get into the defense a lot more easier than what it was when I played and even before when I played. So yes, I would have come close to 2000, if not over 2000.
I would say, and you have the extra game too, 1696. Yeah.
So the most yards I think I've had in a season was 1696, 1697.
You nailed it, 1696 right there.
Yeah, so I got to believe, again, with the way that the league is throwing the football, my ability to get open, catch the football and do things after the catch, and then my ability to go deep down the field, I think, again, would have put me right there close to 2000.
So was there any skepticism when you saw the offensive game plan? Obviously, as a receiver, you had to be thrilled that, okay, it's a pass-happy offense. Now, Kurt, Trent Green, we're going deep, a lot of 4 or 5 wide receivers, but it hadn't really been done before. It hadn't really been, that wasn't the norm. So as a receiver, you're probably thrilled, but was there any skepticism of it translating to actual victories on the field?
Yeah, I mean, no, it was not, because if you watch the way that we practice, there was many of times throughout the course of the weeks that the ball didn't touch the ground. So I'm saying, okay, if we can carry this over into game time, this will be very magical. And it was. But we had a great group of guys that were very unselfish, that really cared about each other, really enjoyed each other's success, and really challenged and pushed each other on a day-to-day basis to be really good receivers, to be really good backs, et cetera, to become a really good offense. So no, I was not surprised of the success that we had because of the way that we practice. And you hear all the time, if the way you practice will ultimately determine the way in which you play. And we practiced really well, and we went out and played really well as well on Sundays.
As I sit here in Kansas City, it's not hard to compare and see some of the similarities of the greatest show on turf and what the Chiefs have really done offensively.
Yeah.
What do you see in the Chiefs offense, and especially in the connection that Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes seemingly have?
Well, that connection and that relationship and that partnership between those two, first and foremost, is critical and key. And they are right now both at the top of their games. Patrick Mahomes is incredible. And, I was asked about a month ago, did I think that the Kansas City Chiefs could repeat a third time? And I said, absolutely yes. And the reason why is because they have the guy in Patrick Mahomes. It all starts in our league. It's a quarterback league. And it starts there, and they have the best quarterback in our game. Just the other day in the preseason game, if you was watching, the behind the back shovel pass, I mean, the confidence and the gall to do that, and I don't care if it is a preseason game, to do that in a game just goes to show you where they are offensively. And it all starts with Patrick Mahomes. Yes, Travis Kelce is awesome. They brought in Worthy. You mentioned Andy Reid, who's fantastic. Pacheco. I mean, they're loaded with talent, but Patrick Mahomes and his drive and his confidence and he's available day in and day out. He shows up for practice. He practices well, which ultimately carries over to the game. He's their leader. And when he's feeling good, you got to believe that the Kansas City Chiefs is feeling really good.
By the way, that was not planned in the game.
It wasn't
behind the back. No, but Mahomes talked after how he was mad at Travis Kelce for running the wrong route. And he said, I was mad. And so I threw it behind the back. He knew he had an option to do that if it so chose to, but Kelce ran the wrong route. And Mahomes talked, he goes, I was mad at Kelce, threw it behind the back. And well, now the rest is history. So
that's what I'm saying. See the calmness and the perfection in which he operates. He's mad that the guy that Kelce didn't run the right route. But you know what? It didn't bother him. I just flick it to you behind my back. This is unbelievable. I think he's awesome, man. I think he's awesome.
Yeah. I wanted to get your thoughts on this. How did you feel about the Rams moving back to LA after being in St. Louis so long? I've always wondered what it was like for former Rams players on this.
Yeah, you know what? Initially, I was upset. I was. And I was just like, man, there goes the history that we created there in St. Louis for bringing them a championship, playing in two Super Bowls while there. And now all of that we've earned, all of that we built is now being picked up and moved out to Los Angeles. So I was a little disturbed by that. Certainly was upset, but I had to get over it, and I have. And they now moved out to Los Angeles. They have a great team, great product out in LA. I still go out to games, still support and rock with the team. They still support and rock with me. And it's been good, man. They already have won a Super Bowl out in Los Angeles, so they've clearly moved on. And the fans there in Los Angeles are super excited about their football team. And and I will say this, I'm really still excited that we still have some fans there in St. Louis that still support the team, that still supports us. I know they are upset as well, but they still are going out and supporting the team as best they can. But to your point, yeah, initially certainly was a little disappointed.
Obviously, you thrived versus both man and zone coverage. It didn't really matter too much to you. But what did you prefer going up against? And the majority of wide receivers, what do they like to see?
Oh, man. Well, to make it easy for us, certainly like off coverage, because now I can I don't have to avoid, press coverage and a jam and having to, keep my body language straight. And now if he's off, I could just get off the ball and run my route. That's a lot easier for wide receivers. But I anticipated zone coverage. I anticipated 2-man. I've seen every coverage in the book. And I had to learn how to beat all of those coverages if I wanted to get the football. Because in our game, if you don't get open, the quarterback is going to get off of you and he's going to throw the football somewhere else. So I had to learn quickly how to get open versus all coverages. And I was able to do that. I was actually able to master the ability to get open versus all coverages. But if I had a coverage that I prefer, and I think all wide receivers would probably say this, it's off coverage because now I can really get up on the DB and do my thing.
Yeah. You've been a finalist for the Hall of Fame 5 years in a row now.
Yeah.
Your numbers say you should be in. The analytics say you should be in. The eye test says you should be in. How hard has this waiting game been for you?
You know what? It's been challenging, Sterling. It has. Every year I learn something new about the Hall of Fame process and how it all goes. But I remain patient. I lean on my faith. And at some point, I'm hoping that the voters will finally vote me in to the final 5. For the last 2 years, I've been voted down to the final 10. So that's a good sign. So you go from 25, 15, 10 to 5. So I've been at 10 the last 2 years. So now I just need a couple more voters, to get me to number 5, which is the magic number here. But at the same time, I'm very thankful to be mentioned as a Pro Football Hall of Fame finalist. If you think about all the guys that's played in our league, man, it's been 20 plus some thousand guys that's played in our league, maybe 30 now, 1,000 plus guys that's played in our league, and there's only 300 plus some Pro Football Hall of Famers. It is a tough class to get into. So to be a finalist the last 5 years, I'm certainly humbled and thankful for that. Just need a little bit more from the voters to get me over the top. But again, certainly appreciative. I love the game of football. I love what it's done for me. I love what it's done for my family and friends. And I approach the game. I try to approach the game every year the right way, play it the right way, have respect for it, go out, uplift my position, which is the wide receiver position. So now I'm just waiting to see if I am don the gold jacket, man. That will be to me that would be the icing on the cake of a pro football career.
I'll try and do my job over here to give you that final push. I'll do what I can.
Man.
Yeah.
Thank you.
We'll try tush push you over right there. We'll do the tush push.
Right. Cool.
What is the hardest aspect of playing wide receiver in the NFL? What's an aspect of playing that maybe the average fan might not understand?
Oh, wow. Well, for one, you got to be in really, really good shape because all we do as wide receivers is run. We run every single day, all practice long. We kind of set the tempo for how practice will be practice. Because if we're lazy, getting in and out of the huddle and getting into our routes, it just slows things down. So you got to be in really good shape. Your endurance has to be up. If you think about the numbers that Jerry Rice has put up, he was in great shape. If you think about the numbers that Calvin Johnson put up, some of the single season record numbers that he's put up, that takes a tremendous amount of endurance. Cooper Kupp, the job that he did, that takes a tremendous amount of endurance and leg strength and core strength to be able to do that. So you have to be in great shape. You have to know your assignment. You have to get lined up properly, right? Then you have to get your depths. Your depths are critical because the quarterback, if the route calls for 15 yards and you're running a route at 12 or 10, the quarterback's not going to throw it to you. For one, he's not ready to throw it to you. So you have to get your depths. Then you have to get open, catch the football, and come alive. But the number one thing, as I mentioned before, is you have to be in incredible shape.
All right. And part of that is, I'm assuming, Ensure Max Protein, your go-to drink. Where can folks find that? And also, where can folks get an inside look at the soccer clinic that you participated in with Real Madrid?
Well, let me tell you that Ensure Max Protein has 30 grams of protein. 30 grams of protein. So it's one of my favorite pre and post snacks, to get me ready. And then you can find the Ensure Max protein at your local grocery store. And then if you want to find or see more about the event that we did out in New York, which was a great time, you can go onto my Instagram, check out my Instagram reel, and you'll see all the cut-ups of the event out in New York with AAbbott and the Real Madrid and some of the influencers, as well as some of the athletes that participated. Kenny Smith participated in it, myself, and Justin Tuck out played with the New York Giants, was also in the building. So it was a great time. So yeah, man, check us out on Instagram Reel.
7-time Pro Bowler, Super Bowl champion, Torry Holt. Torry, really appreciate it.
Thank you, Sterling. All the best.